Welcome to Pardon My Hunch, the show about the real decisions we make in business and in life, and the gut instincts that we trust or wish we hadn't ignored. As always, this show is brought to you by the Vibe Method. This is a process that we use and teach innovators and marketers to help them nail a unique customer story and prove it will sell before they ever build, launch, or scale. To find out more about how we can help you nail a killer vibe before an idea, before you go live, go to gohunch.com. Let's get on with the show. So on today's show, we have two guests. Super excited. I think everyone else will be too. The timing is amazing. Two guests, Lijie Zhu and Harri Laitinen. I'm looking down because I want to pronounce your names correctly, even though I've said them several times. All right. So the Lijie and Harri are the co-founders of icMercury. They're space technology innovators and investors. icMercury is all about space exploration, making space exploration accessible to all of us. Really cool. Part of a parent company called Interstellar Communication Holdings, which owns a span of companies who are all trying to make space exploration accessible to all of us down here on Earth. What timing, right? With the recent Artemis launch. It's so serendipitous and I'm so excited that you agreed to do this now because I think all of us Earthlings here are walking around, more curious than ever about space. So with that, as you know, we're all about here at Hunch, collecting stories about, making decisions to start something, change something, launch something, and how our gut instincts play a role, especially instincts we've earned over time in our field, or like your case, Lijie, coming from a financial background and moving into space. It's such a cool story. I think so many people will benefit from hearing. But with that, can you think of a time where we're in this journey, either recent or past, where you felt that pull and about something that you wanted to make a decision about, and you may have followed that instinct or ignored it? Either way, can you tell us about it?
Sure. I definitely want to echo you. Most of the breakthroughs are actually start with a feeling, not just data, right? You look at something you're familiar with, and there's something look familiar. That's how I do my research on, markets and financial statements. But later you will find, hey, we need to find something undervalued. And in 2002, when I make presentation at the International Trade Council, that's how we identify the space industry will be the next emerging market to generate tremendous growth. And now the theory is gradually becoming true because a lot of investors will realize the stocks they invested a few years ago now generate great returns. I want to also share the story when we met in Tallinn, Estonia. That was a big gathering of for hundreds of entrepreneurs from 80 countries, and Harri and I and Seda, our other founder, didn't know each other. But right on site, Harri found me and identified me, and we basically signed a letter of intent on the second day.
Oh my gosh, a letter of intent to start for this company just after meeting at this conference?
Yes.
Oh, tell me
I
more about
asked
this.
Harri, how can you, there are so many people, how can you be sure? And Harri told me he has a very special trait. He can see energy. He can see energy around the people. So I will have Harri to tell that part of the story.
Is this, Harri, like an we call it, I've heard it called an aura. Is that similar to what you're describing?
I really can see this aura, and this aura is like energy for me. My background is this technical. I have a lot of deep technology understanding for this, but when I find this way how I can see aura, energy from people, it's amazing.
Has this always been something that you've known you can sense or feel your whole life?
It's very good questions.
It-
Probably or not, I don't be sure. I'd say something inside my eye, some stuff. And now I can see this people aura. I can see energy of light. I can see energy from space. That's amazing. It's huge.
I want
So,
that.
well, I went to Estonia. I was looking for someone who has special superpower, and then I found Harri and also Seda. And when both of them have superpowers, I was trying to make sense about what they say. So I have a way to explain, because at the beginning it sounds like a magic. Later, Harri told me he had a surgery with his eye and that expand his spectrum in vision. So once that happened, he can see much more than normal people with their normal eyes.
I mean, like it would be great to have a signal, an extra signal in our vision to tell us when, hey, you're feeling a connection and you're seeing it. I think we'd all love to have that. But it sounds like though you also just felt it, right? Like you could feel the shared, I'm assuming like shared point of view, shared beliefs about what's possible. Like, was there something specific, Lijie, in knowing that you need to work together and what Harri was you talking about at this conference?
Everything is there. You just need to see it.
All right. You feel it, you go with it, or you see it in Harri's case.
Yes.
So right outside, we spend hours of talking, and it just feel resonates the objectives, and so we didn't sign the letter right on site. We signed the second day. So
I mean, honestly, like again, I just want people to feel inspiration or validation or ideas when they listen to people that I have on the show. And it's like in this very moment, I'm thinking of someone I have met now twice yesterday, and we're kind of like, we just feel like this is meant to happen. We feel like we're meant to work together. We got to figure out what we're going to create, And it's like, I think I'm now feeling called to circle back with her. So there's that for everybody. If you're feeling it, go with it. So what happened then, next? So you felt this connection. You knew you wanted to do this. You signed, you became partners, and now what?
So at the beginning, I was just thinking, once more people identify this hidden industry that has potential to grow, the more audience, the more investment, valuation will get higher and higher, and that would support the business model. But my partners are from different backgrounds, and they see space differently. And our co-founder, Sada, and she has great passion in space, and she wants to be an astronaut, and she wants to send a satellite. So all together, we said, okay, let's send a satellite. But at the beginning, it was very much like a fun topic. But after working on it 3 years, it became true. We sent our first satellite by SpaceX in March 2025, and that dream become real. Of course, that's not just us, not just the 3 people. It's actually goodwill from a lot of people who's supporting this project. And with that, you have to think in the right way to summon all these help and to gather all these effort together to make something like miracle to happen.
What were intriguing these other I would assume businesses or investors, people in doing this? Like what's coming out of the satellite? Like, what are people getting from it?
Okay.
What are you learning? That kind of thing.
So it was a very fun learning process. we have discovered all the possibilities. How do you customize your satellites? How do you schedule the launch? And how do you track the data? And how do you keep updated and to make sure everything is safe? So you have to go through the licensing process. You have to pass all the exams. It's not that simple, but once we have learned all these process, now we can share, it's actually a simpler chip than your cell phone. So you can customize the function. We have the simplest function. It carries a communication function, and also we're supporting a scientific project which is developed by University of Manchester to utilize graphene to see if that can protect the satellite better.
Utilize what?
They utilize a graphene layer as
Okay.
coating of the satellite and see if this coating could protect the satellite better from thermal radiation than regular metals.
Would that help it last longer or just be less risky? What would be the benefit?
So first of all, the professor who discovered this material won a Nobel Prize in 2010. And this is one of the hypotheses that they will apply this material on satellites. The theory is that graphene with its unique structure can redistribute the heat around the surface to avoid hot spots like many metals would generate. So if there's strong hot spots, it could damage the satellites. But if they are evenly distributed, or it probably can protect better. So that's their project.
Is this material in use now? Like, does NASA use this material or?
That's why we need to test. So we want to encourage more people to send more satellites to test all these hypotheses. It's a process of study.
I would assume, I'm just making assumptions here, but I would assume that universities and space programs, teaching institutions, this would be really exciting for them, for students. And then also obviously to help in your experimentation, or is that true? Or
Yes. So imagine that we are creating another layer of economic activities. We have to adapt the physics in space, which is different to Earth, right? So you have to consider the microgravity situation, the radiation, and also the weather. There is no atmosphere outside, so we have to consider all these potential change comparing to Earth. So actually, there are a lot of studies required to implement anything, any activity in space. So that's why by sending satellites, we would also be able to have the satellite owners to sponsor all these studies,
yeah,
to advance human knowledge and learn more about the space.
And if I'm a sponsor, if my organization is a sponsor and we decide we're going to send a satellite, we're obviously partnering with learning with you. What else either can I get now as a benefit from this, or or it could be your vision for the future if you're not there yet? Like what else what's like a tangible example of something we could learn
That's an excellent question, because anyone who sends their satellite, the direct question they would ask is, what do I get? So
am I going to see aliens? Do I get to talk to Artemis? Can I send a note to the astronauts? Those kind of things that us commoners wonder about.
Potentially, yes, actually. when we are talking, we're creating radio waves, and there are plenty radio waves all around us. The question is, how do you understand all these radio waves around you, right? How do you uplink and downlink the messages? So when you are connecting with your satellite, you would have to study all these to be able to connect with all. So our satellite is actually utilized by a group called the Amateur Radio Network Operators. So in any country, they will have a group who can still be able to talk to satellites through radio network. It's an old technology, but very useful in disasters. So it's really good to keep a percentage of population who have this ability.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm listening and learning as you talk and fascinated. And then all of a sudden I thought, when you mentioned the radio piece, I thought, well, that would be a nice backup, wouldn't it be, to be able to commute? Like, it's like, it almost felt to me like, you have a backup way to communicate if all else fails through your own satellite. Am I thinking
Right.
about this correctly? I'm always thinking about like having a generator at home. Well, now I can communicate still if I have this on my own satellite.
So when our partner who manufactured the satellite, they showed us how do you wave an antenna and a receive signal. It's really like magic. There is a Disney movie called Elio, and it shows you how an 11-year-old boy could actually talk to aliens. Basically,
Really?
science.
What's the name of it again? What's the name of the movie?
Elio, I think. ELIO.
Is it new?
Relatively.
Oh, wow. So this young boy is talking to aliens. He creates his own.
That explains how this radio network works.
Cool. Interesting.
So you will be able to magnify your signal through the satellite and broadcast it into space. And if somebody broadcasts it back and you are happening to listen to it, you will be able to connect.
Oh my gosh, you're reminding me of a movie. I think it might have been in the 90s, called Frequency. It had starred Dennis Quaid. Does this sound familiar to you?
Yes,
But
exactly.
yeah, he has an old ham radio, right? And he's able to connect. Obviously, then the piece is like, it's a time warp, and he's able to now communicate. Hits this time warp, right? And he's communicating with his younger self. It's a really good movie, actually. But, oh my gosh, that's it was
Yeah.
through radio frequency. Now, of course, they took it to like, talking.
We
to
didn't know how it worked before, but when we are owning a satellite, we have to study all this and become more familiar with this cool technology. It's not that new, but it's really useful.
You're such a I will say you're making this understandable. I know when we were chatting earlier, Harri was mentioning like having this idea in Europe and trying to explain it. People are intrigued, but they don't get it. Yeah, but they don't get it, right? Like, and then in the US, like now your people are starting to get it. I'm getting it, I think, because you should be a teacher. Add that to your resume, because it's becoming clear to me. Like, I think it's just it's such a unfamiliar territory for our brains, right? Like, if you haven't studied the science or been involved, or you're not a scientist or you haven't been in that world, like sometimes you just need a reminder about radio frequency and things like that. Like, it's interesting when I talk with people who are engineers or scientists, when they can break it down, and I'm like, oh, I can start to understand that actually without a lot of explanation.
It's actually just a part of the benefit of owning a satellite. There's much more other real benefits, especially for business. They want to have a brand name, they want to have effective marketing. Actually, a lot of companies spend huge budgets on their marketing every year. But how do you actually draw attention? You know, sending a satellite will not exist your 2 years marketing expenditure. But instead of just spend that money, you are acquiring an asset that is connecting with other satellites. And
Wow.
you get the same effect because you will be sending out news telling people your progress, and that's
Yeah.
2 years marketing effort.
Wow.
So instead of, from the financial statement perspective, you are actually converting your expenditure into an asset, into a investment activity.
So there's the satellite, but I know you had earlier mentioned there's also, it sounds like experiences that are here on Earth. I know that I read about some experiences in Florida or even Key Biscayne. Is that the same company? Is that icMercury as well, or is that another company in the portfolio that offers those experiences?
So we actually have an icMercury app, and the icMercury app has a lot of channels, and those channels are generated by space startups. They are doing many different things. So if people download icMercury app, they will be able to connect with their satellite or the satellite they choose, and they can see
Cool.
what the other satellites are doing and to see how many satellites are passing by his position if they enter the zip code or the physical location. So it's the universe under your fingerprints.
Oh my gosh. So is this free to download
Yes,
currently?
yes.
Okay.
And also you can see a lot of other space startups. They are doing a lot of cool things. My friend from LifeShip is sending DNA and artwork to the moon, and we are collaborating on Art to the Moon project.
Art to the moon?
Yes.
You're
So
sending art to the moon?
yes, we actually collaborated with a company called a Gallery, and then we reach out to many artists and ask them if they want to send their art to the moon, and
Well,
we select the 50, and will
I
be
mean,
sent out later this year.
so what happens after the art goes to the moon? Say more about this. What do they
So
get from this, the artist?
so they will be recognized as the interstellar artist.
I got it. Okay, sorry. Got it. All right, I'm a moon artist. I see. Yeah. But it has to go, right? Like back up to the moon and back to be able to say this, I would assume.
Yes, there is a process that they can follow,
Yeah.
and LifeShip has made a pyramid structure that carried by the earlier rockets, and one of the pyramid is already on the moon.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Everyone listening needs to download icMercury. icMercury, the app,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Okay. Also, thank you so much for being here. I mean, oh my gosh, I could talk all day about this. It's so fascinating. But before you go, as far as if someone might want to get in touch with you personally to learn more about, what's happening at the company or talk with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
We are reachable in many different channels. We're on social network, and people can add me on LinkedIn. And we try to keep all the information updated on our website, icmercury.com. And
Okay.
there's a lot of information people can learn about the space.
Okay, great. And they can find you there too. If they go to icmercury.com,
Yes.
they can find you, Lijie.
Yes.
Okay. Lijie Zhu, Lijie. How do you spell it? Liije, correct?
Lijie.
Oh my gosh. 3 tries. On the 3rd try, I got it. All right.
Toast.
Right. It's, oh gosh. All right. Well, as a reminder to everyone listening, the show is brought to you by the Vibe Method, and that is a process we use and teach innovators and marketers to help them nail their unique customer story and really prove their product or brand message will sell before they launch or scale. So to find out more about that, you can go to gohunch.com. The link will be in the show notes. As always, until next time, please always remember the worst thing you can do with a hunch is ignore it. Imagine if Harri and Lijie would have ignored their hunch to work together. So that's the lesson. If you feel it, move with it.